Hey, what's up, guys? So we have a lot to talk about today. I mean, especially, U.S. empire is in full-blown expansion mode, guys. And this is just crazy now. I mean, look, at the end of the day, guys, the U.S. is pretty much competing with, two other regimes, the Russia regime and the Chinese regime. And, the U.S. cannot allow foreign countries intervening and, playing in our backyard. And what's our backyard? Well, it's all Latin America, guys. Look, here's a map right here. It's an article I saw. Pretty much says and shows you where the United States has direct, intervention or indirect intervention. And there's like three countries that don't, where the United States has no intervention. But pretty much all of Central America and Latin America, United States has, some sort of intervention or direct intervention. And why is that, guys? It's because the United States empire has to continue, guys. The United States empire is in full-blown expansion mode because it's trying to extract resources from these countries. The United States empire, the empire, is in full-blown distraction mode. And what do I mean by that? Look, every empire throughout history has always, and I mean always, created some sort of distraction, whether it's through sports, whether it's through political distraction, or it's through war, right, guys? So the empire right now, the United States, is in expansion mode because, one, Venezuela was actually going to strike a deal with the Chinese. So we moved in the weekend of them striking a deal. How convenient. But the other thing is that the government itself, wasn't really pro-America. And we can't have that in our backyard. You understand that, right? The empire has to have, especially countries so close to us, we have to be working with them. For us to maintain our empire, we have to be friendly with the countries around us, right? But there's another catch to this. It's not just about oil. Yeah, Venezuela has supposedly the most oil of all countries, even more than Saudi Arabia. And that's one aspect to this. But the other aspect of it is that the U.S. is in a recession, potentially depression right now. And we are moving into a reset. The economic, function of the United States is receding. GDP is really going down. And these corporations that, the oil companies and really the Fortune 100 in the United States, a lot of them are only showing profits because of layoffs. They're laying off people by the thousands, tens of thousands. And that's how they're able to report profits. See, all the numbers are fake. Stock market's at an all-time high, which should indicate a roaring economy, right? But then you've got real inflation from 2020 to 2025, 2026 is around 21 to 22%. That's how much it's gone up. If you take something, the price of something in 2020, and then the price of it in 2026, if you were to get the difference, it's like 20, even in some cases, 25% increases in items. So the inflation is through the roof. All these corporations are announcing huge layoffs. I mean, look, today, even this morning, I saw Golden Corral, which is like a buffet chain. They're closing down locations. So really, it's like, the empire is in full-blown expansion, but also distraction mode. And that's why they're also announcing, all these other potential invasions, like going to Cuba, going to Mexico, going into Colombia. And then they're even talking about making Canada the 51st state, along with Greenland. I think these are all distraction tactics. That's what I think. It's distraction tactics from the economy, because they don't want you knowing what's really going on in the economy. But also, it's a distraction, yes, but the U.S. needs to generate more income. The empire needs to service its debt. In order to do that, it's going to have to invade countries, extract resources, extract labor, and that's how the empire continues. It's not going to continue with becoming just, non-expansionist. It has to expand. But again, it's all a distraction at the end of the day. Same with the massive migration that's been happening in the United States. Why has that been happening? Well, that's been happening because the U.S. needs fresh meat. The United States empire needs more people coming into the country that's not going to question the wars. It's not going to question the taxes. It's not going to question the political, environment. I mean, did you really think the massive migration is all an accident? Like, come on, guys. Come on. Did you really think that? Did you really think the massive migration through our southern border was all because the left and right couldn't get along? Like, that's above that. That's national security. But because there was an economic benefit to that, that's why they let it happen. They acted like they cared. They acted like they didn't want it to happen. But they could have easily did something about it. They didn't do it because they want the people here. See, the empire has to grow, right? To maintain your empire, you have to have people coming into the empire, right? And not question it. People that are subservient. Migrants aren't going to question the economy. They're just going to work, keep their head down, and send some money back home. That's it. That's it. But see, meanwhile, you got the U.S. empire going into recession, depression, I think. And a lot of these things in the economy don't make sense. Like I said, when you've got record stock market, but then you've got record unemployment. Unemployment's like 20, 25%. Real inflation's like 20, 21%. AI's fastly taking jobs. It's displacing people in the industries. Economy's not really growing. You go through neighborhoods, houses are for sale in winter. That's a direct sign the economy's bad. But then the government tells you everything's okay. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. But meanwhile, they're invading countries, right? I mean, it almost feels like we're in a movie, or we're in some sort of sitcom. Like, reality is stranger than fiction. I've always said that. And then now you've got, like I said, all these major distractions that continue to happen. It's like, it makes you wonder, like, what's next? I mean, everything that you could have thought, like, I don't think anyone could have predicted the last year. I don't even think we're going to be able to predict the next year. This year, 2026. Things are so strange now. Things are so out of the ordinary. The economy's so out of whack. People are waking up left and right. I mean, I don't know if you hop on any of these forums, but people are more awake than you ever thought. And people are waking up very, very fast. And people don't like the way things are headed. Whether you're left or right, it doesn't matter. Things are not going good. People are unhappy with the cost of living. People are becoming unhappy and not fulfilled with their jobs, with their life at home. People aren't meant to sit there and work 40, 50, 60 hours a week and not have anything to show for it. Okay, cool, you covered your mortgage. Cool, you covered your rent. But that's not living. That's not life. Meanwhile, the U.S. empire has to continue to expand. The U.S. empire continues to increase its taxes on the people. Your taxes keeps going up. The corporations run the empire, by the way. We're a corporate empire. We're not really the United States of America. We're a corporate empire. And the corporate empire needs to keep you subservient, paying your taxes, working, and not questioning anything. Meanwhile, they're invading countries, they're extracting resources, toppling governments, stealing foreign leaders. But again, the empire must grow. They don't care what the American people think. If they did, they would have closed the border. The U.S. empire doesn't care about what the American people think, because the American people aren't buying enough goods. The American people aren't spending enough money, so they have to bring in migrants to work and spend money for more tax revenue. You understand that? But all the numbers you see in the media, unemployment, inflation rate, it's all fake. It's all a lie. And so you have to realize that you're an independent person. And no matter what they say on the news media, you do realize the economy is not good and you have to do something about it. You have to change your situation because the empire Doesn't care about you or me, guys. So remember that. And we really there's not too much that you and I can do anymore at this point, except focus on ourselves, our families, and figure out ways to make more money and trying to save as much as we can, guys. Because the empire, no matter what's happening, wants to keep you poor, control you, and that's it, guys. So let me know in the comments below what you think, guys. You know, I still think the U.S. empire is not done with the invasions. I think we're going to invade, like I said, these other countries. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Do you think we're going to invade Mexico next? Cuba? Colombia? Greenland? Let me know in the comments below if you think that's going to happen. Are they going to use those as distractions for more inflation, more economic downturn? Let me know in the comments below, guys. Subscribe if you're new. Subscribe if you're new, guys. Helps the channel grow. Like I said, we're trying to grow this channel and make it a daily thing for y'all. I hope I'm entertaining for you guys. And like I said, subscribe, and I will talk to y'all in a bit, okay? Peace out.